Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So apologies for being MIA, but like I mentioned in the past couple of videos, it is busy season for me right now, so I've been doing a lot of overtime, so I haven't really had the time or the energy to kind of record Shonen Jump videos. That said, I have built up a decent bit of backlog, and so I don't want it to keep building up and becoming a little bit overwhelming. So I figured we'd play a little bit of catch up this week. So we've already recorded some videos for Kaiju number 8. We're going to get to Gokurakugai in just a minute here. And then we also got some Akane Banashi chapters to record as well. So a lot of great content going to be coming your way this week and weekend. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned before, it really does mean a lot to me to see your support for these videos, especially during these stressful months. It really does mean a lot to me. So if you'd like to do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let us get into it with Gokurakugai, Chapter 16. As we have Yomi going, "Welcome back, Yoru." And you have Memeko going, "Welcome back." It's like, "I'm home." And it's like, "What's up with you? You sure seem pleased." It's like, "Well, of course. I've been dying to see a certain expression on a certain someone's face, and it finally happened." And you see him looking like almost like beatific as he's smiling saying this. He's like, "And because of Alma, I got to see an even better one. I have to thank him. Maybe like meat or something?" And Memeko, I think, is like, "So that Alma guy was there?" He's like, "Tao sure is dumb. She cares for me, her little brother, so much she can't kill me. He's like, I want to make that gullible attitude her undoing. He's like, next time, I'm gonna kill her." Right, you see back at the office, you have Alma just kind of like with his fingers crossed, with his fingers steepled, as he's got Tao sitting opposite him, pretending as if he's doing a little interrogation. He's like, "Now then, I'll proceed with the questioning. That Jin guy, is he really your little brother, Ms. Tao?" She's like, "Yeah, looks like he ended up Amaga." He's like, "How come you didn't tell me till now?" And she's silent for a moment before she goes, "I never told anyone." He's like, "But Money Grubber knew." It's like, "That's his job, ain't it? He dug around on his own." And he's like, "Oh, I see." And he's silent before he goes, "Jin wasn't lying. Was everything that Jin said the truth, ma'am?" And she's silent before she goes, "Yeah. A long time ago, I left home and left him behind. I fed him lies because I wanted to ease his mind. But I don't remember ever abandoning him." Alma was just like all happy about that. I was like, "I knew that had to be the case. That's all I needed to hear." It's like, "But still, Ms. Tao, you don't talk about yourself nearly enough. I know so much about you now, but I've got no idea how you were in the past." You have a sign next to her clock saying, "Don't be a picky eater." It's like, "I want you to depend on me more." It's like, "Well, you sure got assertive." And she stubs out her cigarette. She's like, "Now that he's turned into a Maga, there's only one way to save him. I've already come to terms with that. The next time I see him, I'll put him and that Yoru personality down." And he's like, "Personality?" He's like, "Oh, right. The weird guy I saw on my way back from Ataria was Jin. I thought he was acting strange. Was that because he had multiple personalities the whole time? No wonder he was such a scaredy cat when I met him." And you have an "Oh?" He's like, "Oh. At any rate, you ended up saving my hide this time around. What do you want?" He's like, "Chinese hot pot from Sin Sin." And you see finally we get to the cover page with Gokurakugai Chapter 16, Tons of Trouble by Yuto Sano, with translation by David Evelyn and lettering by Kyla Aiko. It was fucking all. It was a dog whose name Yoki or Yoku. Yoki. And you see Yoki and Dara just kind of smushing Cow together in like this big hug. And he's got like tears just streaming down his face with, "Oh, Tao, I get it now. Everything with your little brother must have been so hard on you. It's like, you never open up to us and complain. You should depend on us more. It's like, don't treat us like strangers." Oh, God, I absolutely love these two. They're the best. And Tao's just like, "I've always depended on you guys, haven't I?" Oh, God. And you see Tastu and me trying to like fourth wheel in as they all go back in for a hug, and he tries to join in at the end before Tao kicks him out. It's like, where'd you spring up from? It's like, why from the door as usual? It's like, but getting kicked by a beautiful woman ain't so bad, you know? It's like, still, Tao darling, I'm so glad you're safe. You shouldn't head off to danger all by yourself. If something happened to you, I would have killed the jerk. It's like I'm gonna kill him now! You all can handle things while I'm out. He's like trying to walk out the door. And you have Yoki just grab him by the coat, be like, wait! What'd you even come here for? It's like, so good of you to ask. If I'm here, that naturally means I've got new info! And it's just as gory this time around. He seems like holding out like this pack of photos. I was like, okay, take a seat. Sit. It's like, huh? By the way, I noticed the kids' meal ain't on the menu today, Tao, darling. So I assume he's referring to Alma. She's like, said he's gonna work because his tab's up to 1 million or something. It's like, oh. And you see him, like, Alma doing like the typical like sneezing because someone's talking about you thing. It's like, well, the only thing harder to deal with than that kid's tab is staying safe out on them streets. So on that note, I'd like you to take a gander at these. 6 men dead, bleeding out of their eyes, nose, mouth, ears, keister, pecker, every orifice you can think of. 13 people dead after starving themselves to death for no apparent reason. Folks of all ages, buff and fat, whatever. 42 people crushed to death despite not being near any boulders or girders. These three types of disfigured corpses have been popping up an awful lot as of late. A regular human or a regular manga couldn't have easily have pulled any of these cases off. Basically, it's the same pattern as Yomi or the hanging murderer. I mean, Jin. Oh, God damn it. Which means Maga, who look no different from us, are prowling around Gokurakugai and murdering folks. And alright, so I already saw one of these images from Twitter, and it's the one you see like was pulling up her the sleeve on her dress, and you see like little cut marks on her wrist. And you see that one looks like a little kid like skipping through a sidewalk, and you see the one that's dressed in like the traditional like Chinese that kind of dress with like the scar over his eye. And you see at the restaurant you have what is Chinese girl's name? Give me a second here. Yaya. You see Yaya sitting on a stool going, you know, it's so slow today, we could manage on our own, Alma. He's like, perfect, let me earn some easy money then. She's like, geez, I can't with you. Fine, then can you do a delivery while I eat lunch? It's for our regular, Mr. Maki. You know the way, right? You've been to his place a few times. And he's like, yep. He's like, hello, Horai restaurant. Mr. Maki. He's like, coming. He's like, hey, yeah. He's like, yo. He's like, oh, what the hell? It's just you, Alma? I was hoping it was my sweet Yaya. He's like, don't make us deliver food and then complain about it. And you see a startle as she's like, claps his hand over his mouth. It's like, sweet Yaya? It's like, nope, listen, I said I was hoping it was my order. Sweet, you came on time. And Alma's like, it's looking awfully clean in there. Your room was a dump before. Your mom here? It's like, you're friggin' dope. I got a you-know-what as he does like his little finger out, sticks his little finger out. It's like, she's a lot clingy, but she sure is pretty. Imagine a girl like that falling for me. She's an angel from the heavens for real. She asked to celebrate our 1-week anniversary, so I ended up splurging on grub. It's like, 1 week? So that's why you ordered so much? I was like, yep, you got it. Wait, I'm too lazy to lug this around, so let me borrow the carrier too. He's like, Mako baby, are you done yet? Like, sorry, coming. So like, alright, we'll talk about this at the end. Like, so yeah, my girlfriend will get jealous if other girls come over. It sucks, but I'm counting on you going forward, Alma. He's like, wow, dude's on cloud 9. And you see back with Dara and the rest. He's like, so I see. The danger is nothing we haven't seen before, but this is pretty terrible. Tatsuomi's like, so yeah, if these guys are the same as Jin, then I think they can use something akin to superpowers. I mean, these murder methods would be impossible in such a short time without them. It's like, Jin had the ability to strangle people to death without even touching them, right? It's like, wow, talk about occult. It's like, Yoki, you and Beastman in general are just as occult. And Tatsuomi's like, though he hasn't shown any signs of other abilities, No clue if he's got any others or if it's just a strangling one. I reckon there's some link between Jin and his ability. He strangled people, hanged some too. It's like either way it boils down to asphyxiation. And Tao's like, Jin died by hanging himself 9 years ago. If we follow that theory, then a humanoid maga's ability would stem from their cause of death, right? He's like, oh ho! Well, that sheds some light. In that case, maga that died by bleeding out, starving, and getting crushed might be the ones who did these guys in. It's like, also, Jin mentioned Yomi gave him a safe place and a family. Does he mean other maga by family? It's like, I'm guessing so. And Tatsuomi's like, so he dragged in total strangers to flee family with him, eh? Betting there's no way all of them idolize Yomi like Jin does. If we can make contact with one, then we might be able to nab some info about Yomi. And Yoki's like, well, we've got a lot of uncertainties here, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't act. Alright, I'll make sure to share this intel with the other members. Like always, I'll leave all the violent matters to your group, Tao darling. Meanwhile, I'll be keeping my nose to the grindstone as best as I can. It's like we don't know what kind of powers he'll actually be using, so make sure you don't do anything that'll get me boo-hooing. God. Is he back on the office house and was just like laying his head down on the desk? And Tao's like, looks like you must have earned 50,000. He's like, worked a full house from 6 p.m. It's like, no matter how hard I work, I still just make 650 yen an hour. And he's like, their causes of death are their abilities, huh? Losing blood, going hungry, getting squashed. If I died right now, I guess it'd be death by overwork. She's like, Al, you don't recognize Yomi, do you? It's like, not at all. But he was all like, it's been a while and you should know who I am. He acted like he knew every little thing about me. Made my skin crawl. It's like, I see. It's like, we might be doing a lot of legwork starting tomorrow. Let's get cleaned up and hit the hay. It's like, okay. He's the next day with, Alma, Mr. Maki says he wants you to come for a delivery. It's like, He says to go ASAP. And then Alma thinks back to him saying, my girlfriend will get jealous if other girls come here over. It's like, I see how it is. It's like, can I, Miss Tao? It's like, Auntie, can I go without my uniform? It's like, get dressed. He's like, aw. It's like, is this his 1 week and 5 days anniversary then? Looks like he's got money and space between his ears to spare. It's like, hello, Horai Restaurant here. Gotta say, for someone as unreliable as you, you sure are trying your darndest, Mr. Maki. And you hear a thump. And you see a crash and a, hey, what's wrong? As he opens the door up. And you see just blood's like spurting out of his nose. Like, help me. It's like, Mako, baby, why are you running away from Utsu? God damn it. God damn it, Gokurakugai. Ah. Alright, we'll talk about the chapter from the start again. So yeah, I guess my only, I think, major criticism of this chapter specifically, at least, is it feels a little like the attitudes when they're talking about like Jin and Alma's like trying to like interrogate Tao and be like, oh, how come you didn't tell me about all this? It feels a little too blasé, or just kind of like, oh, you know, it wasn't a big deal. Blah blah blah. It's like, I didn't tell anybody else. Like, oh, you know, Tatsuomi found out on his own because he's just that nosy and he kind of like dug around a little bit. So it just feels like a little bit too blasé. Like everything was swept under the rug a little bit too neatly and too quickly. So yeah, I would have liked to see like a little bit more emotions, a little bit more like complexity with regards to like them talking about it and discussing this stuff. But on the other hand, it kind of shows us like how much Alma kind of hero worships Tao, and is kind of like, as soon as she says like, oh, you know, I don't ever remember abandoning him, he's immediately like perked up and he's like, yeah, I knew it wasn't true, like, you're the best, Ms. Tao. So there's like that little bit of characterization where he's immediately just like takes it out of word, which he's like, you know, I didn't do anything wrong to him, like blah blah blah. He's like, alright, that's all I needed to hear. But yeah, just like felt like just a little bit too blasé, tone and mood wise. Apart from that, again, I love the dynamic between the entire friend group, where like, you know, Yoki and Dari are just like the big huggers, where they're hugging Tao, just kind of like just sitting there, just like taking it, like, all right. So I really do love those little bits of like character interaction stuff. Apart from that, I'm curious, apart from like, being kind of like a little bit of a gimmick where it's like, oh, the manga that died, like these ways have like the supernatural ability to like to kill people in the same ways that they died. Apart from being a gimmick, I wonder if there's going to be a little bit more depth with regards to that specific kind of supernatural aspect to their powers. But we'll see what happens with that. I do love all their designs. I feel like they're all very unique, like very different. So I do really, really love that aspect of it. Apart from that, not much to say about. It's a little bit too coincidental at this point that, where it's just like, the guy that they're doing the delivery to just happened to have one of the MAGA family members just like living with him for the thing. And I suppose that might be explained away in the next chapters, like, oh, they're all very curious about Alma and they're kind of like find out more about him. So kind of like targeting the people around him, stuff like that. But again, it just felt a little bit too convenient to kind of progress the next plot point to be like, oh, the MAGA's kind of like, shacking up with one of the restaurant delivery guys. Now, apart from that said, God damn it, this fucking series is just like every other character that's introduced is just me like, that's my type, that's my type, that's my type, that's my type. And this is just like every single time I read this series, it's just me doing the Ralph Wiggum like, ha ha ha, I'm in danger meme. Especially with the new one where it's like the dark hair, like the goth clothing. I'm just like, God damn it, man. Like, oh, the thirst is real. And I just, oh, God. I want her to succeed. I'm just saying, new character Utsu can do no wrong. But yeah, I'll be very curious to see like what her whole interaction with Alma is going to be, like where the thing's going from here. But yeah. Gorgeous artwork, love the character interaction stuff. Definitely feel like the Blase aspect was a little bit of a letdown. But I'm glad that we didn't have to wait as long for this chapter. So hopefully see what the next one hopefully has, or the next arc I should say, will hopefully be a little bit better in that regard. Sorry, one more thing before I forget. I do hope it's going to handle, because feels like there's going to be a lot of mental health related stuff with Utsu, having done like self-harm with like the little cuts on her arms, and with Yoru having kind of like the split personality thing after the abuse. I'm still kind of wary about how well that's going to be handled. So hopefully it's not going to be too bad, but it's too early to judge right now. I just kind of want to like put that out there as like a little like, I'm just watching this to make sure nothing's happening, but we'll see. So with all that said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. A lot of good content is going to be coming your way this week and weekend. So until next time, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all later.